everyone.
Stephanie.
Morning. I just want to preface this by saying that I've been here for 2 years, and I got out of doing Thought of the Day probably 10 times. So I think it's appropriate, though, on my last day that I stand before all of you and I try to tell you in a few minutes and in a few words everything that you've given to me and how grateful I am for all of that. So I really never thought that I would leave, which is bizarre because I always had an end date. Like my first year wasn't enough, so I stayed another year, and at the end of my second year, I still just thought that I was going to stay. But I think that that's a perfect example of what Homeboy does for all of us, and that is that it allows us to grow and change to be better people. And once that growth occurs, we go off into the world and spread that with others. I think back to my first day, and I think to where I am now, and so much growth has occurred. And I owe all of that to you guys because I've been surrounded by people who allow me to be the best version of myself. Before Homeboy, I didn't like children, and that's bizarre because now I'm always around kids, and I go to the beach and I let Jeremiah throw sand on me. And before Homeboy, I didn't have any gray hairs, and now I have so many, and each of them is named after a client. And after 2 years of walking beside men and women who are changing their lives and working next to people who nurture and foster that growth and that change has allowed me to be a better daughter and a more understanding sister and a kinder friend. And I now listen to people without judgment, and I'm able to show gratitude for every new day and for the simple things because all of you do that so well. But I think that the greatest gift that I've received has been hope. A few weeks ago, I was going through some turmoil. I was in a pretty rough personal stage, and it was because of personal mistakes, and I hurt people that I loved, and I had a breakdown, and I was crying, and someone asked me, what do you need right now? What do you need to feel better? And I answered them and I said, I want to go to work, which is crazy because no one says that they want to go to work when they're having a nervous breakdown. But I wanted to be here because of the hope that all of you give to me. And when I want to give up and when I want to run away, I'm reminded that that's not an option. And everyone here is so strong and has such perseverance, and that's contagious. And we're so lucky that when we walk through the doors, we're accepted for all that we are. The good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty. And Father Greg always tells us that we're more than the worst thing that we've ever done. And we're all just living examples of that. And I'm so grateful for that. And that's why it's so scary to leave, because of that acceptance and that love and that kinship. But we've been taught how to accept everyone for who they are, and it's our duty to go and share that with everyone else who isn't able to be here and experience the magic. It took me 2 years to figure out what I was looking for, and I didn't even know I was looking for it. So it might take you 18 months or less than that, or you might have to leave and come back 6 different times. But I think that you all, when you find it, you'll know what it is. And I'm so grateful to all of you for letting me find what I was looking for. I'm going to end with a quote. Well, lyrics. It's lyrics from a Broadway musical, Wicked. I've been listening to this song on repeat. I'm not going to sing it. I'm going to just read it to you. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And know whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. So as I move forward in this next journey, I will take a piece of all of you with me, and I hope that you keep a piece of me with you as well. But if you forget, or I don't know what happens, I made this. This is me, just in case anyone forgets. You can discuss amongst yourselves